Well, they say it takes two to tango. And of course, two's always fun. But what if you invite a third? Tonight we're talking threesomes and the fun, the joy, and the drama. Let's get into it.
Yeah, what's up for a nightcap? Chill, you know, kick back.
Day one of asking my wife for a threesome.
You want to have a threesome?
Sure.
Really?
Yeah, what about with your friend Mark?
No, what?
Ooh, she said what she said, baby. Welcome to the Nightcap. It's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and we talking threesomes with my friends. We've got Polo, CEO of The Uncut, in the building, ready to discuss. We've got Lady Annabelle back. Hey, boo. And we've got the doctor, Ty Lerman, who's a clinical sexologist and sex therapist, who's going to set us straight and make sure we're not heathens out here. All right. Threesomes, they sound quite messy, especially when you get an answer from your partner that you weren't expecting. So what are y'all's thoughts on threesomes off gate?
I personally feel like they're okay, like if that's something you're okay with, you and your relationship. Or even if you're not in a relationship, because you don't have to be in a relationship with a threesome, but if you're in a relationship and it's okay with you and your spouse, I think threesomes are fine.
Spouse or partner or friend?
Spouse, partner, or friend.
Right, because that's the thing, like threesomes can happen with single people, they can happen with married people, people in a situationship, it can happen with anybody really, as long as it's three willing to tango.
It can be a lot of fun with the right communication. They can be real messy with very little communication.
Okay, you sound like you're speaking from experience with the bad and the good. Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you communicate with your partner ahead of time or the person you're going to do it with, and just boundaries, you know, who you're going to choose to have a threesome with, whether it's going to be somebody you know or if you're going to go out for a night on the town and see if there's somebody down. There's that, and that can be great. You know, you both choose the person and agree on it. You know, your boundaries as far as protection and who can do what, because sometimes that's the thing. Sometimes somebody wants to have a threesome, but they're like not full penetration. You can only do like a little oral,
Or kissing or no kissing. I feel like there's just so much to discuss. Like how much information, personal information do you share? Like, do you exchange numbers? Like,
I think it's all about negotiation. I think.
Come on, doctor, talk to us. I feel like you agree with her as far as communication goes. Like, that needs to be
100%. I think the thing that defines a good experience in this is the communication piece, and it's a before, during, and after. If this is a couple opening their relationship up, then making sure that the couple feels secure, and I think that's a really important piece, that they are priority. And if something comes up and one or both doesn't feel comfortable, that we have an abort policy. Like we can abort, we can pivot, it doesn't have to end, but we can take a pause. It's just about the communication around that.
Yeah, that almost sounds like play. Like once you have that safe word, right?
And that's true though.
Yes.
To exit the situation, but I hope all parties are aware. I'm sorry, go ahead, Polo.
Touching bases on something you just said, the confidence thing is a huge part of it, because a lot of couples, like, okay, so I have a situation with a friend of mine. She just told me this, right?
A friend of a friend of a friend.
A friend of a friend of a friend. So pretty much her and her husband, like they have threesomes all the time. They go to like swinger parties and everything.
Got it.
They take people, you know, and they do their thing. But she has a rule with him that, you know, you have to wear protection. And then also, like, don't do anything that you're not doing with me.
Oh.
And so she told him once, and he did it again. And then the next time they had a threesome, he did it again. She literally got up in the middle of the threesome and walked out the house while he was still in there. He comes running outside after her with boxers, like, what are you doing?
Well, I'm happy he chased after her, because if he had just stayed, that would have been worse.
He chased after her. But I felt like...
He wasn't following the rules.
No, and that's
Well,
what she
did he
said.
break? What rule did he break?
Okay, he didn't use protection. He did not
Okay, no,
use
that's a
protection.
big one.
That's a big one.
That's
That's
a
big.
big one.
And this, so like we're talking about the most important piece of consensual monogamy is the consent part, right? And consent here was violated.
Yeah.
Like she consented under these terms, and that was violated. That's a big problem, and it's a huge. I mean, it's deal breakers for many relationships.
Yeah,
Right.
like are they still
So
together?
they are, but they
Are they
have
in a
slowed down.
rocky-
They've slowed down on the threesome
Yeah.
because she felt like the rules kept being breaking, and she's like, "Listen, she has to be comfortable while they're doing that. Like
course.
that's big. You're bringing somebody in your bedroom. Like I need
It's a
to be
sacred,
comfortable.
intimate space.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Oh,
she's
no,
looking over the
that's
edge
not
like,
okay.
ah.
So the whole reason that we brought up this show is because according to 3Fun, which is an app where people can find potential partners for a threesome, Houston is number 3 on places that love threesomes. Wow. So how many people are you seeing in your office, doctor, that are like, I'm thinking about introducing another partner into our relationship? Is it very often for you?
I mean, I'm a sex therapist, so like, and I specialize in open poly kinky relationships. So like, I see a lot of these folks. Mostly it's navigating polyamory or open relationships, and this component, like we're talking about, is the negotiation, the conversations around it, making sure that we are feeling secure at every step along the way, and that we have safety precautions and plans in place that when we need to pivot, we can do that, and we feel comfortable with our partners to be able to do that.
Oh no, we're gonna have to talk about these safety precautions for sure. All right, well, coming up next, we're gonna continue the conversation on threesomes, but we're gonna discuss, the mistakes, the jealousy, and all that sort of drama, and of course, how to approach it in the right way. So you stay right there. We'll be right back.
You're done. You're done.
Me, 5 minutes into the threesome I thought of and cutting it off. Sounds a lot like Polo's friend of a friend of a friend of a friend, right? We've got Lady Annabelle, we've got Dr. Ty Lerman as well. All right, so besides jealousy, what are other obstacles when it comes to bringing in another person?
The thought of wondering if they're gonna want to sleep with that person outside of you.
Ooh, that sounds like jealousy too. Oh no, but yeah.
Choosing the person. Yeah.
Choosing the person.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
I have been in a situation where my boyfriend at the time was like, hey, there's somebody who wants to meet you. And I was like, what? We were at a hotel for a staycation. And I figured out real quick what was happening. And I was like, all right, well, let's meet her, and we went for some drinks. And then it like there was no communication of us doing the threesome. And, after quite a few drinks, we went back to the hotel, and I kind of like switched into this mode where I was like, you know what? You want to do this? Fine. And I was like, go down on him now. And it kind of put me in a position to where it wasn't actually like a threesome. I felt like
You were in control.
yeah, I was like in control, and I wish it would have been a little more like three-way. Also, like sometimes one person will. It's sometimes it's hard for maybe a guy, or if it's not a guy, 2 guys and 1 girl, to focus on 2 people at once, and it's not necessarily all at the same time, but like giving people like the equal amount of attention and pleasure. That's a big factor.
Well, I think that ties into like finding the right person, because oftentimes like someone will be, there's like this gateway thing, like someone's really into one of the partners but not the other, and then when we're actually in it, like it's very clear that all of their attention is going to that one person and the other person's feeling left out. So this is why we need to have those safety precautions in place, like that we can speak up, or we use a safe word or whatever that might be to communicate that I'm uncomfortable or this isn't working for me. But also, if you're walking into it in your first threesome and you're already feeling kind of uncomfortable, I think it's very appropriate to have the conversation with the third of just going, hey, this is new for us. We may need to pause. We may need to take a break. One of us may step out. Both of us may need to take a break. Like, it's just about the communication, and especially to the third as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And when you invite a friend into the mix, that just sounds crazy to me. Because how do you?
Like, how do you go?
How do you
back?
deal with them after that? Because they might get clingy, you might get clingy,
Right.
you might be looking at your partner sideways. Like, how much communication are y'all having? Y'all were already friends. I can't be upset at y'all being friends, but now y'all are talking a little much. I think, maybe, possibly. I don't know.
You see how
You know what I mean? Like, that just sounds messy.
Yeah, I've heard horror stories about like the third becoming real close with
Yeah.
the, you know,
Yeah.
one of them, and then they actually end up together, and
Yeah.
it's like, whoa, you just kind of scooted that one person out of the situation. So, yeah, I prefer strangers.
Yeah,
Strangers.
definitely. Strangers.
Strangers in the night.
It's definitely cleaner. It's definitely
Stranger
cleaner. that
not
way.
danger.
But that scenario has also happened with strangers, right?
Yeah.
Someone has a casual connection, but then the connection turns into something more significant, or is a very good sexual connection, and that builds a friendship or a relationship of some sort.
Yeah.
It's just about the communication, right? We got to go back and talk about it. And if the primary focus is our if there's a couple, then that's what needs to be the focus, and make sure that we're taking care of home base first. This is fun and extra, right? The primary thing is the relationship. So we need a
Okay.
like appropriation. It's order of operations, if you will.
So
Okay.
is that during the threesome?
Oh no, we don't worry. We're gonna
Okay.
figure this out, Polo, because we need to prepare properly. How do we communicate so that we have fun during, before, and after? Plus, I gotta learn how to make this jackalope, which is from State Fair Kitchen and Bar. You stay right there. We'll be right back.
All right, this one's for dudes that are having threesomes when you shouldn't be having threesomes. If you cannot handle one, please do not bring another just to disappoint two, because now you're it up for the rest of us. Know what you're gonna do. You should have a playbook for when like this happens. You should be able to know how everybody's gonna stay involved, what everybody's comfortable with. You don't just wing it, right? Just don't. If you're not ready for it, don't do it. There's great threesomes out there. Continue to have threesomes. They're very fun. I think they're the best thing on the planet. The more, the merrier. But again, if you're a dude that can't facilitate two, don't do it. Not ready.
He said what he said. We're talking threesomes. My friend Polo, Lady Annabelle, and Dr. Ty Lerman, who's a clinical sexologist and sex therapist. I mean, I feel like that's good rules to follow.
It
like
is.
if you're not ready, don't do it.
Or
right?
if your woman is or your spouse is already not really being satisfied, because a lot of people think threesomes are the key to fixing their sex problems in their own personal relationships. And if you're already not handling it in your relationship, what makes you think bringing another person in is gonna make your sex lives better?
Well, it
And it's
might
more
make
than
your
just-
partners
You're
better, and
right.
they might end up skipping town with the other person.
But it's more than just sex, too. It's about the relationship dynamic itself. Like, if we're having communication problems, just the two of us, bringing a third person in only complicates
Right.
it, and it's another person that I need to have conversations and communication with. And the thing that I say, if we can't talk about it, we shouldn't be doing it. If you're not mature enough to actually have the conversation about what I like and what I don't like and how to get better at it, then we shouldn't be doing that.
Right.
So this absolutely applies with opening a relationship or polyamory. If you're not comfortable in having the adult conversations, it ain't for you.
It ain't for
Not at
you.
all.
Okay, so what are the characteristics of a successful threesome leading to it, during it, and post? Would y'all say?
I was in a situation one time where I met a gentleman. We worked in the same building, and there was a lot of chemistry. And then, found out he had a wife, and I was like, oh man, this could get, I don't want to disrespect cross any boundaries. Well, come to find out, his wife was, she was all for having a threesome. Mm-hmm. And so
how did that come about, though? Because if some guy just tells me, like, listen, my wife is totally down, like, how do you believe that? How do you get to the point where you verify that information?
Right.
Like, I feel like I would be walking
Well,
on eggshells and kind of.
we had dinner first.
Okay.
Yeah, we all three had dinner. So I was like, okay, hopefully he's not leading her in blind. And she was absolutely cool. She definitely showed interest, and we talked about, next time we hang out, maybe we'll get a room, a staycation downtown, and that we did. She did say that, as long as he doesn't develop like romantic, like love kind of affection feelings for me, like she was cool with it all being like, sexual between the three of us. And of course we talked about protection, and she just wanted to make sure that, I was on the same page as far as like it not becoming like a two-person kind of thing. So,
So you openly discussed this
yeah,
Right.
before
we
even
did.
getting into that hotel
We
room.
did.
Yeah,
and,
that's amazing.
So I, met them for drinks, and then we went back to the hotel or whatever. And it was kind of like her and I hit it off first. We were, together, and he was kind of watching, and then he just kind of like made his way in. Of course, like you were saying, like he showed some attention to his wife first, and then me, and he was very like respectful with the like back and forth, and then her and I would engage a little bit. And then it did get to a point, because it was like lasted a long time.
You were like, hold up, like what's happening here? It's time to go.
I think he got tired, because he was like,
back to that guy's point, he can't handle two.
Oh
Right.
yeah, he definitely had to lay down. He took a nap, and we didn't.
Y'all still going?
You didn't.
But he was fine with it. He was
course.
like, "You guys have fun. I'm gonna go take a nap."
Okay.
Yeah.
And then afterwards,
Actually, she expressed to him that she thought that like him and I would just be better together. Weird, right?
That took a turn.
Yeah, it took a horrific turn.
what do you mean a perfect turn? What
slept
is
with
this?
Yeah, that's what she said. And she would like still text me and stuff, and it was still like we had that like the friendship or the connection. I think she felt like he needed that outlet more than she did, and so she was like, "Hey, you guys can, have this sexual relationship as long as he doesn't develop feelings for you." And sadly, he did. So
They always do.
we were respectful. We were respectful, and we ended that.
And that doesn't have to be drama. Like
Right.
we can just be adults and
Yeah.
have a conversation. Just going, this started sexual. I've started to develop some feelings, so we need to take a step back. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be drama.
And is there a
like
way
craziness.
back from that? Like, can they still have a happy, healthy marriage?
Oh, sure.
After finding out that, he developed feelings for
Yeah, I mean, she had permission, or he had permission, there was consent involved, and so there was no violation. There's no problem here other than somebody else, like him developing some emotions for another person.
Right.
I mean, that happens at times.
Right.
And so, of course, as long as again we set healthy boundaries and say, okay, I'm developing some feelings. Here are the boundaries, the new boundaries that are in place, and we respect those boundaries. Then, of course, there's a way back from that. Sure.
All right, doctor, before we go, if somebody at home who's watching right now and they want to have a threesome, how do they tell their partner that's right next to them, hey, let's invite a third?
There's no one way to do this.
Okay.
There's lots of bad ways to do this, but there's no one right way. Some people may feel more comfortable approaching a friend, so it's hard to test the waters to figure out what friend would be comfortable with that. So it is risky at times to kind of out yourself that you might be interested in doing that or opening your marriage. If that feels too risky, then there's a website called Field, which is a fantastic website for open poly relationships. It's a great a soft kind of approach to be able to kind of explore, maybe create a profile together, or that you can explore some of that, and then potentially find a partner.
Or they can come into your office and discuss
Or they can come
with
into my
you
office and we can-
what they should do.
Right.
All
Sure.
right, well, cheers to y'all. Thank you so much for coming in and discussing this wonderful conversation. And listen, I'm going to go behind the bar and figure out how to make this jackalope. You stay right there. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Nightcap. We've been discussing a very fun topic, but I'm behind the bar now, and I've got my guy Rick from State Fair Kitchen and Bar, and you're here to do what? Back that glass up! Yes. And listen, that jackalope is delicious,
I'm glad you like it.
and I want to know how to make it, so you're gonna have to teach
Very
me.
easy, very easy. We're gonna start with our vanilla syrup.
Okay, how
We'll
much
do
of
2
this?
ounces of that,
2 ounces of this. Okay, and that's all the way.
all the way to the
listen.
top.
Okay,
When we're done with that, we're gonna do an ounce of the grapefruit,
an ounce of the grapefruit, so this is all the way to the top on this
Mm-hmm.
side. Okay.
and then an ounce of lime.
An ounce, okay. This is easy. We can
Super
make this
easy.
at home. But why make it at home when you can go to State Fair Kitchen and Bar?
From that point, if you want to stir it with a spoon, and then we'll add ice.
Okay, what is the flick of the wrist with the spoon? Because I am awful at this. I am awful every
it took
time.
me a while. It's just, it works better. But that's literally all you're doing is you're just using your bottom finger to stir it.
Because the way you hold it is unnatural.
It takes practice.
It takes. I'm glad you already started. See, I just, coaxed you into doing it. Is what it is. All right, what next?
Ice, and then we'll top it with
So we
Topo
just
Chico.
build it, but I think I didn't even have to shake. This is why you allowed me to do this, huh?
Yep.
So what's the vibe like at State Fair?
It's very relaxed, very chill. Nice place to come hang out.
Okay. So
And
a
then top it
good
with
date
that.
night?
It is a good date night, yeah.
Just top it all the way to the
All
top?
the way top, a little bit of the top, right
Ooh.
there. And there you go. And then finish with the garnish of lavender.
Oh, this is lavender? Herbaceous. All right, listen, I'm gonna make you straw test. Make sure I did this right. How is it?
Perfect.
Ah, yes! Oh, look at y'all coming in to
you go.
taste. I mean, the more the merrier. All right, listen, if you choose, go ahead. If y'all choose to partake in non-monogamy, it better be consensual and everybody better be communicating, okay? Cheers to you. We'll see you guys next time. All right, let me see how I did. We've got every episode of The Nightcap and we can go for hours. Download the Fox Local app on any of the following smart TV platforms and get in on the fun.